These are intermediate players, learners. You know, they have the L. If they had a car on the road, they'd have the L plates. L for legendary. Whoa! No, I'm kidding. And we're off. The game's begun. You love to see it, right? And with that, the Ness versus Carl normal tournament game, difficulty normal mode, is begun. 14 on 14. I'm sure from here the teams will increase in number as the pick phases continue on. However, what we see now is the beginnings of a very standard issue game. Miners need to go down. Nothing is automated at the beginning of the game, so we have to stick down the miners that we're given in our inventory. They also need fuel, so we're going to need some coal to begin with too. You'll see these kind of looping coal snakes that are created. And what happens here is it will, you put one piece of coal into one, it will then power itself to mine and feed the coal that does mine into the next one, that will then power that to mine, and you just have this looping power block. That's a very good point. Blitzy is a better streamer than I am. I might need to make you a mod, mate. How would you feel if I made you a moderator of my very, very tiny Twitch channel? Have I lost my... What is going on? Am I losing the plot? Can I not create... Wait, whoa, hang on a second here. Have they changed Twitch? I genuinely I'm shocked about how the UI has changed it. 1 second. I'll put a prediction up as soon as possible. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to just very quickly focus in on... Who should I go in on straight away? Zero Sun. Alright, give me a second. I just need to figure something out on Twitch. Something is not working for me right now, and it is starting to piss me off. So... Oh, I found it. Holy crap. There it is. Oh, I've missed a load of follows as well. I'm sorry. Okay, just really quickly, guys. Neron Fox, Jacob, Gilgamesh, thank you for the follows. I massively appreciate all of you guys that do follow when the stream is not on. I can't participate in my own votes. However, I can guess. And I'm going to make a prediction of my own. However, I'll throw one out to you now, and I'll give 30 minutes on this. Remember, guys, don't vote straight away. Let the game play out. Let it evolve. Let it breed and breathe. And then from there, I would bet my hard-earned channel points. But yeah, that was a wounder. Right, music. What are we going for? What do we fancy listening to whilst the game starts, by the way? I mean, but don't get me wrong, you think I'm not missing anything at the moment, guys. We're watching a threat farmer, and I want to explain threat farming to you. So the reason we're on Zero Sun is not by accident. We're about to talk about this. So let's stick on something nice and chill. I'm going to go into some detail here that might need a bit of chillness to it. Music. Let's go into... Yeah, go on. It's been a while since I've listened to some funk music. Only chumps won't gamble what all they have. You could trash talk. Well, it's not like you can ban yourself, Blitzy. That's fair. So as you can see right now, this is Zero Sun. Zero Sun is arguably the best threat farmer in the current meta as we speak. I am known in the game as the Minister of Defense. However, I've been abject of my duties. It's not right. Do I even speak English? What's going on? It's been a long day, actually. It's been a long day. I've been neglecting my duties as the Minister of Defense, and in my place, Zero Sun has emerged as the #1 threat farmer of the game. And you might wonder, like, as a factory building game, why is somebody not building a factory, right? If you have a 14 on 14 team, why is one of the 14 members of my team not building the factory? Why are they out here running and fighting the bugs? What does this even do? And it's a fair question, and I'll answer that question as simply as I can. I realize in the past my explanation has not been like on point, and that's for a couple of reasons. Is that I do this, but I'm not the best at explaining it. So don't worry, dude. It's gonna get worse. Trust me. I'm about to have a couple of beers. So obviously drink responsibly. Non-alcoholic beverages are available. But for me today, I'm gonna have a beer. I'm gonna chill. It's Friday night. So threat farming. Why do we do it? Why does it exist? Is this important? And should I be doing this? And the answer is, well, yeah, it is. At the beginning of the game, the bugs are incredibly weak. The way that we lose the game is these guys, these little crawly boys over here, are at the moment not very strong, but later on in the game become incredibly strong, too strong for us to deal with. Here at the beginning of the game though, they are 0.7% evolved. A gun of any distinction, a pistol even, with the weakest of ammunition. As we can see here, the bodies are currently sitting around the sentry turrets. They just get melted. They get melted by any level of damage. They're weak, and that you're mostly quicker than them, and light armor can tank the hits that they provide. The reason why we shoot them at this early phase of the game is we want to drive their number into a negative number. Now, as you can see here in this piece of the UI on the top left hand side of your screen, there are the northern numbers in blue. Number of players on a team here is 14. This is the percentage. ELOC 2012. I've been watching the VODs on YouTube for a while. I want to tell you that I appreciate what you do. I look forward to seeing you play someday, and I might join in fun too. Hey mate, welcome in. No, it's nice to have you in with us, mate, and I appreciate that. I know that a lot of people do find the stream through YouTube. I don't do a good enough job at promoting stuff, and I might need to do a better job. We'll figure that out. I'm an okay content creator. But welcome in, mate, and hopefully we're on for a good game today. So yeah, threat farming. The North's number are slightly different to the South. Why is that? At the moment, in the earliest part of the game, the South are dedicating an individual player to basically go and fight the bugs. The quicker he can drive the number of bugs into the negative, so instead of it being a positive like here 25 on the North for instance, it's a negative 170 on the South, is that Zero Sun is killing off waves and waves and waves of bugs in order to make the map passive. What that means is, by having a passive map, is that the bugs need to repopulate their own population. They need to take that minus 169 number and spawn in more bugs until they're in a positive number. Once the bugs have a positive number on their side, and which naturally over time does increase, they will then flood the map with attack waves. So the North, with a plus 35, it's not a big number, but it's big enough. A plus 35% threat means that at some point, some bugs, not many, will come down the map and attack your map. They'll attack your buildings, they'll attack your players, they'll attack your production, everything in between until they get to your rocket silo. If they get here and they kill the silo, you lose the game. So you kind of want to balance fighting the bugs and also defending your base and upgrading and researching. So it's a fine line between, you know, being actively aggressive and fighting everything. Hey, Green Killer, nice to have you with us. Absolutely. I have a game for tonight, which is Carl versus Ness, two heavyweights of the Bite to Battle world. Tomorrow is a double header. I don't know exactly who's playing, but I think I start at 5 o'clock CET, and we're going to be streaming till about midnight. That's going to be a long one, so yeah, feel free to make sure you give yourself a break in between those games. It's going to be a long day. And then Sunday, I think there's one more game. There's basically 4 games on in the next 3 days, so yeah. Oh yeah, we'll get into strats as well. So yeah, lots of bite battles to be had, and I believe it's obviously Friday night, so we don't have big teams today, but tomorrow's games are going to be massive. I'm almost certain of it. And normally by the time we get to the end of a tournament, we end up with huge teams. So yeah, it's going to be really good fun. I will mention at the beginning of, oh dude, exams are 2 weeks away. How are you feeling about that? Nervous? Or are you confident, quietly confident that you've prepared well? I was always really nervous about exams. And I did okay, but just the build-up, the whole, you know, there's a date and a time, and I have to go there, and I have to deliver a performance. Yeah, I wasn't great. But yeah, no, I hope you're doing well, mate. And hopefully, touch wood, your exams go well. In between that, you've got a lot of bite battles to take your mind off life and give you a bit of entertainment in the background. For any of you guys that are new, that aren't sure what's going on, don't worry about it. We're going to talk about it. But you'll find the VODs of these games on YouTube. So if you look up bite battles, I think I appear somewhere near the top. And you'll be able to watch historic games as well as this game as well will be posted. So if you can't stay for the entirety of this, don't worry about it. You'll be able to find a VOD of it down the line where you can skip to the bit that you missed and watch it from there. So yeah, we try and cater to the people that can't make it or whose time zones are a little bit different to European time zones, which I'm currently sat in now. So the strategies from both teams, well, it seems to me like South already have a production block being made. They have 2 decent sized smelting lines already up and running. The North are getting their power block set up. This is nice, and there's a huge coal patch here, so obviously, make the most of this and power up as much of your base as you can. And moving west to east again, they have 1 line of iron being smelted down here, with hopefully another line that it's a half line? That's interesting. Okay, I guess a half line of iron ore is going to come down here too. So at the beginning of the game, we don't have anything automated, so you've got to kind of hand feed stuff. Red science is the first tier of science, first level of science that we have available to us, and that will grant us some basic items that we need to then kind of progress our team. Let's take a look at research real quickly. We have this fantastic UI here that shows us what everybody's researching. Currently, the South have nothing. That's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. The North are researching quite well, and as you can see here, yeah, this has just turned itself off. Or they haven't queued anything up. Have they not queued anything? No? Okay. First time studies test. Don't really know how good or bad, but they're extremely different. Okay. Got you. So it's not the big exam that matters a lot. This is like a build-up. Mate, good luck. I treat it like it's really big and it's important. Because then when you get to the really big important one, you're used to the big important one. It's just my advice. So the North are going for military 2, stone walls and fast inserters. The South, heavy armor and military 2. Interesting. Military 2 getting quite late here. And the South haven't even gotten their are they behind in timing? So for those of you that have a little bit of knowledge of the game mode, the way that you get ahead in the game is that you hit certain timings in the game. A good indicator that a team is working fast is that they're able to hit each science tier within a reasonable bracket of time. So, for instance, both teams have read up within the first 4 minutes of the game. That's a really good timing. And 11 minutes for the first green jug, green being the second level of science in the game, 11 minutes is good. And they've made 41 jugs of that green science. So far, at 12 minutes in, you'd hope that the South can start building up their green science. If they're off by like 3 or 4 minutes at this early part of the game, that does have an impact. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that the North have just won the game now because they got ahead and they got green science early. But what it does indicate is that the South are... the South? It's the North. Sorry, the North are flowing a bit more. They're working a bit faster, working better with each other. So you can see how much fluid each team has used. Wait, did they add? No! No way! That's so cool! Alright, okay. They added, sorry, I'm nerding out right now. They added this stuff? If you like, okay. If you're nerdy like me, and you like readouts, so when the game ends, this screen here will tell a story as to why one team won and one team lost. I don't do a good enough job of going through either of those, so I think at the end of today's game, don't feel free to leave when it's over, because when it's done, the game is over. But we're going to go through the what did and didn't happen at the time that it did, and how much of it was made and how much of it was lost. I love this screen. I'm so happy we have the upgraded UI. It's so nice. So we have, for instance, the beginnings of an outpost out here, making the most of this sushi smelting belt. These mixed patches are a bit of a burden, but they can be made useful. And as you can see here, there is an abundance of copper and iron plates flooding through here. But I would consider this to be an outpost. And obviously main base is out here. Caliphate with a second outpost as well. Oh, damn. And here we go. With normal difficulty, this play could be a bit of a pain. Zero Sun continues to threat farm. and neither side are really pushing the Evo yet. I can imagine we're not going to see any rush plays in terms of spamming out the opposition, but we will hopefully down the line see something akin to a speeding up of the game. So you don't just sit here and wait for the bugs to get stronger. There are ways of influencing the bugs and forcing their hand a little bit to get stronger and start to fight you. It's not that difficult to explain, but each jug that you make, each science level that you make, you have two options in using it. Number one, obviously for research, this will help you get down the tech tree, this will help you get those items that you need earlier. And you know, for instance, you do need heavy armor quite early. Laser turrets are amazing, getting them as soon as possible definitely benefits you. So leveling up your base through technology is one way of using your science. A second way of using your science is throwing it over the river, and there's a little panel on the left hand side as a player that you'll see where you can throw science over the river, and what that does is that will pump the numbers up that the bugs are experiencing. So for instance, as we see here perfectly just on time, Carl3 sent 34 flasks of the 3rd tier science, military science, to the Team South Spiters. So now the Team South Spiters have been evolved slightly from 3% to 10. Now if I was you, and if I had a choice between dealing with either 3% strength bugs, so it's jumped them by 7%, it's evolved them by 7%, and a 15-minute timing for the 3rd tier of science is very good. That's quick. So what he's saying to the South is, I'm going to keep pushing your number up. Here we go, it's gone again. 29 jugs to Team South, they're at 13% now. Where this becomes unmanageable is when the bugs start to evolve beyond their current form. So at the moment, they're very, very small, they're tiny little brown things, and they're easy to kill. Later on, they evolve with pink shells, which make them medium-sized bugs, blue shells, which makes them big, and these huge green massive bugs, their 4th evolution, or 3rd evolution into their 4th stage, sorry, which are behemoths. Behemoths are effectively impossible to kill unless you have some developed tech. You don't have that straight away. So this send that Carl3 is throwing out there, in a matter of minutes, we're seeing the South now at 16%, the North at 3.2, and the pressure, and here we go, here is the beginnings of an aggressive wave, pushing its way down the map. Eventually, these bugs, if you don't deal with them, will crash into your base. And this is the fundamental fun aspect of bite battles. You want to constantly improve your base, constantly upgrade and get into deeper technologies, but the bugs are coming. And if you die out here, again, as these guys have, this is going to be a really negative play for the South. It's not GG if you lose this base, but it's taking them the better part of 17 minutes to set up. So these guys are about to lose 17 minutes worth of work if the bugs aren't dealt with. And again, Neuro, as I spoke earlier on before, he's a server owner. He knows how to play this out. He programmed this scenario. He knows what's up. It's not a cheat code. There's just one way of dealing with it. You shoot them and you blow them up. Now, that's what 16% bugs do. This was fully built just now, and now there are some parts of this base that are lay in ruins and some of it heavily damaged. So as a player, you have to come back here, rebuild this, or lose it. So the pressure is on now. The South need to find an answer to this, because with one threat farmer, Zero Sun can drive the number back down into the hundreds again, but at 950, he's got a lot of work on his hands. Arguably, he might need some help. And as we can see now, both teams are sat on 18, so they're 36 players currently in the server, 18 on North, 18 on South, and they're fighting it out. And pressure is about to appear in all areas of the map, not just here, in this base. I can imagine there's a wave somewhere over here that is going to slowly move its way towards the base on the South. And if they don't protect their base well enough, or they miss the opportunity to catch that aggression, they're going to be in for a world of pain, because what you cannot lose are these large smelting columns, right? These are the heart of your base. These are the heart and brain of your base, right? If you lose them early, it's dangerous. And here we go. Here's a wave of bugs disappearing into the fog. They should reappear somewhere around here. Oh God, give me a second, guys. I need to get something from my throat because my voice is killing me. So, oh. Bollocks. Yeah, he didn't jump on my keyboard, but never mind. That was a definite mistake for me. Do you know, that's the first time I think I've done that. Influenced the game. I'm an influencer, guys. So back to the point I was going to make. The South are getting spammed now by signs. I don't think they have response at the moment, and the bugs are about to evolve into medium-sized bugs. So beforehand, we had purely just small brown-shelled bugs. I should. Yeah, it's just a misclick, guys. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to sweat too much. If it was a grand final, I'd be slightly worried, but yeah, a 20-second pause is not the end of the world. These medium-sized bugs are harder to kill, higher HP pools, they're slightly faster, they hit you harder. And as you can see now, the waves are starting to stack up. This is not unmanageable, but it's certainly uncomfortable. And as you can see, even with rows of gun turrets, the medium bugs are making it to the front line. They're managing to put some damage down. So yeah, waves are beginning to flood down from the south towards their infrastructure. And this is nerve-wracking. If I'm on the north, I'm happy with the way this is going at the moment, because bugs making it this close to your silo, this early in the game, it's slightly unnerving, and it's not slowing down. Carl3 has one particular mode that they want to get into, which is, I want to build the third tier of science. I'm not going to research with it. I'm going to stick it into a box and throw it. And you know what? They haven't even made that much. But it's making a massive difference. In fact, if we have a look at the feed value here, the mutagen times is 10.6. It takes 22 resources to craft, and it's 1.5 times resource efficient. So, yeah, I mean, it's worth doing. And they've sent, what, close to, 316 now has gone across in small bundles of 20 and 30 at a time. And that's ratcheted the pressure up on the south to 25% evolved bugs. It's manageable, though. It's certainly manageable, but what it does do is you have these sorties of bugs that are just going to pop in, like hit and run tactic type bugs where they go and just kill off a little bit of your infrastructure, right? It's not impossible to deal with. Neuro will deal with this relatively quickly, but again, you don't want to be spending your time making this play happen. You certainly would rather be spending your time building your base up and getting into the deeper elements of the game. Any time spent here isn't necessarily time wasted, but it's certainly an issue. And I worry about these darker areas here where there's nothing that can detect or catch the bugs coming out. So yeah, Zero Sun needs some help. It looks like Mr. Bob is also going to be down here getting involved in some threat farming too. And I think 2 is about the bare minimum amount of people you need for this now. The pressure that's being put on you, I'd argue a third person just onto the side here, just onto the left-hand side, just acts as a bit of a net. You know, you catch the initial waves of bugs coming down. Beyond that, though, I mean, they're going to try and fight back. You know, the South are not going to take this line down. They're not just going to get punched in the face and... who's this person? How did Sherbull end up with that much science? Anybody? Did anybody... What? Okay, I think... Oh, it's just... Oh, God, holy shit. I was really worried there. A new player had just made, like, a game-losing play. Genuinely worried. Sherbull. What is up with these names as well, guys? Jesus Christ. Can't we have some cool, like... I don't know. So whose Smurf is this? Sherbull. Who would name a Smurf Sherbull? It's Ragnarok, isn't it? The poly markets. Oh, God. The South are looking to hit back with a little bit of spam of their own. However, it's not a lot. And it's not coming in that fast. In fact, Clutch is out here working on their own to create an outpost that the North have had for a while now. In fact, not only the fact they had the North for a while, it's... Alright, remember, mods, remind me to add Blitzy to the list. The counterpunch from Clutch happens. 77 military flasks fly from the south to the north, and the north are now dealing with 15% bugs. It's still half the amount of south, but still, they're starting to fight back. 31% on the south, with bugs careening into the main base. And again, if you lose any of this, it's really detrimental. It slows down your production. It slows down the way that you can create and push and expand your base. Where even is the pause button? It's one of the F buttons, I think. I think it's like F9 or... I'm an admin. I can pause the game. I don't think as a normal player in the game you can pause it. As well as I've got other privileges. Like if I wanted to, I'm not going to do it, but if I wanted to, I could mess around with the game. I'm just not that way inclined. I'm all about fair play. Because even if you play fairly against me, you're still going to lose. But yeah, there is, I think it's I think I hit F8 or F9. It's one of those two. Yeah, so, you know, the South are, yeah, they're punching back. But at the same time too, I feel like this is like an isolated play. And I wonder what the long-term plan is for the North too. Like, are they just going to create... Oh, okay. Is this up and running though? Is it creating anything? So this is pure mill spam, right? We're not looking at blue at all. We're just going to go full mill. And if we were going to go full mill, why aren't we moving out here to the left-hand side of the map? But like, why are we not here? Am I seeing something wrong? Is this too far to play? Like, I mean, I'd go further than Caliphate. I'd move out to about this space here, maybe just here. There's so much stuff here. You could create a ton of military spam if that's the way that you think you win the game. That being said, though, like, the South are absorbing the pressure. It's 33.3%, all the threes on the South. Again, medium-sized bugs, uncomfortable to deal with, but they are manageable. Mr. Bob is creating, there's a grenade farm down as well. Power is looking a little bit funky, did I see? And they're trading blows at the moment. The South are throwing, the North are throwing, Ness is throwing. The South are getting peppered with signs at the moment. This is kind of demoralizing. Like, what do we... If this doesn't work, I feel like the South might absorb this and like go one step further. Like, we could end up with blue side. That being said, though, I think this could just be a slugging match. We might just see this unfold into, you know, how big is your how big is your mill side, you know? But I'll still be worried about this. Holy. Okay, so the North now have evolved into medium-sized bugs, meaning that they are going to experience some of these purple shell guys too. So they're on equal footing. The South are slightly more evolved by about 17% compared to the North, sorry. But they are experiencing slightly stronger bugs than they were before. I put my cards on North. Yeah, I think they managed to get to a point early and then spam early enough. However, I mean, this is kind of annoying. I don't know what this base is really achieving. There's some power down here, so maybe they were trying to build a power block. But that's kind of unfortunate. And as well, if Caliphate gets hit at all, like if bugs come here, which they can do now that they're in the positive number, they could experience some attacks here on the North too. So this isn't completely the South. I mean, the South are getting hammered. This is not what you want to see because your rocket silo is just there. But this isn't world ending. Like, you'd hope somebody would have a grenade or two down here. Like, you cannot have people go down. Okay, that's not how this goes, guys. There's no way. Build grenades, boys. What's going on? Get some grenades on you. Some big boom rocks. Boomsticks. Now, I don't want to say GG. But this sets you behind massively. Everything is turned off. And I mean everything, including your research. Part of your mining and belts have been put into the dirt. Collapsed. Absolutely detonated part of your smelting. And everything is going to stay offline for a little while now. Beyond that too, you've had a large portion of your player base come here to deal with this. And there will be more waves coming down. So again, you're being compressed. Instead of being out here and fighting the bugs, you are being slowly but surely forced back into a position which is not comfortable for you to be in. All the while, the North are still progressing, they're still researching, and they're still pushing ahead into the game. Like, they're not done yet. They have a lot of exclusive research already done. And they carry on. They're moving to blue. Damn. I mean, has Carl... Has he been caught off guard here? I slightly think. Ibrahimi is the coolest admin. Whoa, that's not how you spell ghosty. But I'll allow it. I've not been in the server for a while. Ibrahim is the coolest admin. He has awesome specials. Do you know what the best specials are, in my mind? Not the ones where you become super overpowered, but where you get given a good mixture of items that you initially don't look like they combine well together, but over the course of a game, it makes sense. So we used to give out free items that initially looked like they were kind of pointless, but used in the right combination would really give you an advantage. As we can see here now, the North are starting to get hit. Hey man, water barrels and pistols are very important to the game. Very, very important. Okay, Sherbal's up there, threat farming. We've got a blueprint going down here to the north as well. Ness's outpost is still creating massive amounts of military spam. And it just seems like the north have a handle on things. Meanwhile, in the south, things couldn't be further from the truth. The silo is dangerously close to this aggressing wave coming into the main base. And again, it's the same iron patch. The same iron patch is getting riddled from the left as it did from the right. And even amongst the rubble of the previously rebuilt smelting lines, it's just slowly getting thinned out. I would need somebody out here. If I'm threat farming, I'm asking for somebody to occupy this space. If you don't catch these waves will catch you, right? You know, you either ride the wave or the wave rides you. And at the moment, the wave is certainly riding the south. You know, the momentum is steaming towards their main base. And it's uncomfortable now. The players down here are good enough to deal with this 100%. But the problem is, again, all of these players are currently dealing with a problem instead of building out their base and making things slightly more comfortable. So, and here we go. It's waves like this, guys. Waves like this that end the game. I mean, we've seen it. We've all seen it. You know, and at 46%, I mean, the North are on 30, so they've got their own problems too, but I haven't seen anything that, like, makes me worried about their team. They've taken some damage up front here, but they haven't lost anything. You know, they're just absorbing waves. And sometimes that's all you need to do. You just need to lose slower than the other team, you know? And here we go. Another wave of spitters arrives at the main base on south. It's a lateral wave as well, on top of another one coming in too. So Carl, the fire has his work cut out for him, and he, you know, sleeping on the job is not going to help him. It just seems like there's a little bit too much going on for the south. Maybe too many plates to spin. Like, eventually something's going to crash, and I don't think anybody's picked up on this wave as it slowly moves its way into the production. And here we go. It's just starting to unload onto steel. And steel is a very important item. You're going to need a lot of it. Even just losing a few of these buildings, I feel like this is going to be death by 1,000 cuts. Just as you start to rebuild the last thing a wave killed off, there's going to be stuff that gets hit next. And then when you start rebuilding this, it's going to be stuff over here, or it's going to be stuff in your outpost, and yeah, just over time. Although I will give you credit though, Philip is absolutely doing, you know, we talked about this earlier on. If you're a new player, just offer to build power, and this is exactly the kind of build that you'd like to see. Here we go again. You know, build some power up, help your team out. I love that player. These guys, these three players here, fantastic. Massive thumbs up to these guys. But yeah, the South are in a bit of a pickle. It seems like this base is going to be somewhat abandoned. We do have a car up on the Cobra though, and this can be very useful in terms of kiting the bugs. You know, keeping them, like grouping them up and keeping them away from the main base. The North are now getting flattened a little bit faster now. The waves are majoritively purple bugs, which means that they're not small anymore, they're now mostly mediums. Eventually these small bugs will evolve out of the gene pool, and we'll be left with only of these purple bugs. So yeah. Oh damn. That's just uncomfortably close to main base, and those turrets won't do anything to this. Medium biters, begin to spawn in. Begin to kill the new spawns. The main base silo is under threat. Now we're down to mealing them, aren't we? We're pickaxing down medium-sized bugs. This isn't the problem, by the way. The problem is what comes next. What's behind this? Iron has been torn to pieces, and it's almost game, guys. Pals having Ghosty on commentary makes it feel even more legit. I think this could be an esport. I genuinely do. I think it could be an esport, but it's a niche one. However, I did notice this recently, right? You know that they have like Farm Simulator has like a competitive scene. I didn't know this until recently, but they actually have games where people farm and people follow it. They have teams and everything, sponsorship, the whole shebang. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility that we don't end up down the line with some large sponsor following us, tagging us in. There'd need to be a couple of changes made to the maps. Certainly there'd need to be some changes made to the way that we play the game, just in terms of pick and ban. But once you could streamline that and make it more of a viewer experience, because playing the game is awesome. And I like commentating over the top of it and watching it, but I think if you were new to Factorio generally, you'd need a bit more going on. You know, maybe screen in screen, you know, so I could have like one screen up here and one screen. And again, guys, I'm on my own during this, so yeah, I try my best to catch everything, but sometimes you aren't able to get on every single little thing that happens in the map. Yeah, no, you're right, mate. You are right. And I would love to see it. I would love to see it for this. Okay, oh damn. The North are in a little bit of trouble here. You know, they're certainly going to feel the pain. This is the outpost that's causing a lot of the problems for the South in terms of the military spam. Now, again, when I spoke about who loses slower, the South, although they've lost a lot of their mining and they lost a fair amount of their production on steel, and they've had to rebuild that. If any of this outpost, in fact, we're seeing it now, as some of this outpost goes down, they're losing the ability to produce here. Sticklord, obviously, very strong player, and as well as the other players that are out here like Caliphate are able to deal with this, but the next 2 or 3 waves that are like this, if they chip into this production, we're going to see the production of the science, which is making South's life difficult, slow down. And if that is the case, if that does happen, yeah, I'm slightly inclined to think that, oh, here we go. Evolution stage number 2. This is the 3rd state that the bugs can exist in, and these guys are blue-shelled big bugs. They're bigger, stronger, faster, hit you harder, run faster than you at this point, and pretty much can soak up grenades. As we can see here now, multiple grenades on the back of these guys, which would normally kill off mediums, are barely damaging these blue-shelled guys, right? So either the South need to upgrade their research and make it more defensive, so increase their grenade damage, go for poison capsules maybe, shooting speed, etc., or build a defensive wall. It's gonna get rough, dude. In fact, it's already rough. I said it was. It is. It's currently. This is grim. They just rebuilt this, by the way, and it is once again crumbling. You hate to see it. Meanwhile, in the North, I mean, they have their own problems too. Their own steel is being hit. Threat Farmer's outpost seems to stay alive. This current spam outpost is, yeah, it's still here. I feel like it's whoever drowns the slowest under all this pressure is going to be the winner. Let's change the music up. I want to hit some of this. No, that's not the right one. Oh, damn. All right. I think we're on for a bit of a banger here, guys, because it looks like both teams are about to lose. Any given time I zoom into the map, some game-ending play is happening to either the North or the South, so I'm going to try and speedrun commentating whoever loses quickest. This is scary on a number of reasons, right? They're moving into blue science production. I believe whichever side throws blue first wins this game. There is a discrepancy between the evolutionary states from the North and the South. Blue will throw a huge spanner into the works of the opposition team. I think that with the big bugs already existing on the South, the cars kiting them are a good thing. Like, you will be able to kite large amounts of these bugs, but as you can see, they don't take a lot of damage. You know, so now it's all about, oh my god, look at that, it's devastated. So North lose a lot of steel. What is this music? Why do I keep putting on shit music? There we go, let's put that on. Both teams are in vehicles, kiting. This outpost surely slows down on spam. And it's about who hits the next tier. I believe that both teams could very, very easily lose this game. Very easily lose this game. And it wouldn't take much. One lapse of concentration, one slip of the mind, and you lose infrastructure that you cannot afford to lose, and also don't have the time to rebuild. This is an outpost which is causing a lot of problems for the south, and it is currently getting rattled. Right, and they're not going to lose all of it. Again, they never will, but that's enough. That's enough of a hit to be a problem. And again, another wave coming in, doing a little bit more. After 4 or 5 waves of that, it is an issue. Potato goes down south. The waves are slowly kind of moving their way in. Power has gone up here for Philip. He'd love to see it. And the Cobra has moved further out to the left-hand side. This, again, is a great move to make because what you're doing here is spreading your threat farming efforts out. So you cover a larger area of the map. Ultimately, you just want to cover as much ground as possible. Your job here isn't to find the waves. Isn't for the waves to find you. It's for you to interact with them. I don't know why we have a player running directly past this, but this is an issue. This is a huge issue. And if you don't kill them off, they might kill you off. I don't know. What do we think about this, guys? What do we think? I've been super unlucky. Here we go. House music on a Friday night. Why not? So again, the players are very strong at catching these waves. What we're looking at now is who evolves into the next step first, how either team decides to manage the bugs and the threat that they have at their door, and also how quickly they can convert their adaptation and they're moving into the 4th science tier as to whether or not they are able to make the leap towards a win. Now, no blue science has been created just yet. A fair amount, thousands for the north, in fact almost 5,000 have been produced in terms of military science. I wonder if they send the blue or if they research with it. But with bugs getting this deep into the map, so close to your silo on north, I'd be slightly worried. If the bugs make it a few clicks down, they are bumping into all the things you cannot afford to lose. So I'd be slightly worried there, you know, like, okay, yeah, for the south, the bugs are, you know, consistently aggressive and they're consistently giving you problems, but, you know, they're not consistently making it to the bottom of the map. Yeah. Again, it's normal difficulty as well, so we should not see a long game today. I don't imagine we're going to be here for another 40 minutes or so. In fact, with the slip of the mind, slip of the plays, oh damn, we almost hit 40 people. Mate, a single jug of purple would be massive. You know, it would throw, it's like an iceberg to the Titanic. It would just absolutely sink anything that either side has. They're so much faster pace. And I feel like I missed some of the inflection points, setting things up, and then I paused the game, obviously. But yeah, I like it when it's like this. It's chaos, and I love it. You know, it shouldn't be that we wait 3 hours for something to happen. Something should always be happening. And Mr. Bob just makes it out through the trees, kiting waves of bugs. However, we're making a small mistake here, which is kiting the bugs towards our own base. Now, the flamethrower, I've been told, is new, like meta-wise, and I love it, because flame towers are what we used to use to defend with when we used to build walls and like a castle-like structure around our base. So I love the fact that we use flamethrowers nowadays, but I would advise, if you are threat farming or pulling bugs and pulling waves, is to pull them away from your base, or at the very worst, laterally left and right. The deeper you pull a wave into your base, all you're doing is creating a corridor of space for the next wave to come in uncontested. At least if you're going left and right, what you're doing is you're sweeping the area, almost like you're on patrol. Even with 100 bugs behind you, you can still catch another wave. And again, they will always aggress onto a player as opposed to a building. Their priority is to kill you first, and then detonate anything in and around them. So Like, you don't necessarily want, you know, you don't necessarily want to have the bugs anywhere near your base, because obviously once they catch you and kill you, which they will do eventually, they just have free reign to do whatever they want here. Whereas if you kill them out here, they have to walk halfway across the map, right? So by the time you get back to them with all your kit, they might not even be on your base. So space is a big key important factor when it comes to threat farming. The North, I mean, waiting 5 hours to send 13 rockets. Oh my god, mate. Don't even get me. Those games, they were fun to cast because you'd literally be talking. I could talk for hours about myself, which I love to do. So, you know, like, even though it would be like a 5-hour game, 4.5 hours of the stream was just me talking about my amazing, you know, me. Which obviously everybody tuned in for. Nobody really cared about the game mode. It was just stories, mate. Story time. But that being said, yeah, there's no room for that in the modern meta. Maybe we go back to marathon meta once, you know, where we decide. And yeah, Minister of Defense is certainly, it's the tactic. I need to capture some footage for a YouTube series that I'm making at the moment, so you will see me play. But it'll be probably during the week, and I don't think I'm going to be like streaming, so I don't want to stream the big game. What I want to do is get in and test the meta. So, I don't know if I should say this. As the Cobra dies, I announce to the world, to the universe, I have set up a TikTok account. And I already feel terrible for saying that. I actually feel dirty for saying that I've set up a TikTok account, but I have. I realize that there is an entire generation of people where YouTube and Instagram isn't actually current. For me, Insta and YouTube and Twitch are what I use to interact with people, but for a younger generation, for kids out there that might like Factorio, that might like... I wouldn't blame you, mate. So the account, however, and this is clear as day to me, this is how I'd like to put it out there, and it will never change. It's going to be about biter battles. I'm not making clickbait. I refuse to make clickbait. I'm not using AI voices. Like, you won't believe what this guy did to win the game. None of that stuff. It's literally going to be, hi, my name's Ghosty, and this is how you threat farm. Or, hi, my name's Ghosty, this is what an outpost is. And it's basically going to be that. It's not for self-promotion. I just realized that there is, oh shit. Much like there are large waves of bugs on North crashing in towards their base, there potentially could be a large audience of people out there on TikTok, for instance, that don't know about the game mode. And I know that we're all slightly older. Not all of us, but some of us, most of us are slightly older. I'd like to think that the younger generation may enjoy playing this game, you know? And for every person playing this game and learning about biter battles, that's one less person playing Fortnite, right? So that's got to be a win, surely. You know, it's one less player playing League of Legends. So there's that, you know? And for if any of you used to, I do apologize. I believe there's helplines for that, support groups. This game mode is not for the brain rotted, though, unfortunately, you know? If I see any of you draw 6-7 on the ground, I'm just banning you. Like, get out. But yeah, no, I just thought, why not? You know, I have a YouTube channel. I'm creating an educational series at the moment that talks about concepts in the game. It's more of a longer piece where, you know, I'm going to spend 5 to 10 minutes. Oh no, damn. Power's getting rinsed. That's a shame. That is such a shame. Because that power block was really nice to have. It was such a supplementary thing that you could lean on. And as we can see now, power on main is just bouncing in and around the yellow area. Shit. Not the best thing to happen to you whilst you're surviving the waves going down. I hope they can get this back up. I really do. Because that's very necessary for the survival of South. Yeah, so the idea behind TikTok is literally just get some short form content out there. Even something as simple as like, how do you join a team? Where is the Discord? What's on the Discord? All the channels involved and stuff. It's not a money-making exercise at all. It's more or less just about increasing the amount of people increasing the platforms of people that can find the game mode. Because think about it, guys. There could be some teammates out there that you'll end up playing with that could be incredibly skilled, right? I mean, you know, younger kids, they have the time to get really stupidly good at these games. We all have like jobs and shit that we do. But they have time to really play and get good, so there could be a future Ness, you know. There could be a future anti-elites out there waiting to learn the game, ready to kick everybody's ass. And I welcome it, you know, I welcome it. As well as there are a lot of people that I meet from on stream that follow from YouTube, and that really is cool for me, you know. There's somebody that watches the game or a previous stream of mine and kind of like looked at it, so takes experience. It's fair point. It is a fair point. But you know, you never know. Oh shit, sideswipes. We've seen these before. Ness manages to catch it in time. Close to the red chips, the blue science is now being produced, and they're deciding to put it into labs rather than throw it. That's a great thing from the North to do. Although the North are under the pump. So they are dealing with 50% bugs. They're moving towards purple science. That's interesting, because they could throw this. And there's a 3-minute gap from the North to the South. The North being 3 minutes faster than the South. And they've created hundreds more blue. So have the North managed to weather this, push forward? The South has just been weathering the storm, right? This seems to me like a battlefield. What if the future Biter Battles champion would invent cancer cure? If he doesn't... I think you're more likely to discover a cure. I think that there is a direct correlation between genius and Factorio Biter Battles high-skilled gameplay. Now, that's not just coming from me, that's coming from other geniuses, but I've heard, when I talk to other geniuses, that you have to be a genius to be good at this game. So if anything, you're fostering a genius collective, right? So if everybody in here was like, you know, 900 IQ, obviously that's the bare minimum to be a genius, obviously, then they're talking amongst each other, right? So geniuses talking to other geniuses must be good. It must be a room full of Elon Musks, right? A room full of Tesla people. And no, wait. No, he's not actually a genius though, right? Am I wrong? They employ geniuses, but they themselves are not the genius element, right? It's not like that guy's the inventor of all the stuff. But I'm being sidetracked. You don't need to be a genius, but you might be. This could be the turning point for somebody. There could be somebody out there who's about to become a career criminal, and they found Biter Battles, and they're saved by the efficiency, the automation, watching the red belts throw items down a line. They think, do you know what? I don't want to spend my life dealing drugs and murdering people. I'd rather play this game. And to that I say, congratulations, you're starting to make positive choices with your life. Welcome to Biter Battles. You will spend a minimum of 1,000 hours being mediocre at this game. And only after you've played it for several thousand will you be considered a pro. And even then, Ghosty won't think much of you until you beat him 1v1. Which, by the way, is yet to happen. Nobody's beaten me. But yeah, I just think it'd be nice to bring some more people in. And the one thing I would say, though, that might be slightly obnoxious, and you did mention this earlier on, I don't know if I'd be particularly good host. I wouldn't even say host, like streamer for a younger generation, right? Because I'm not very loud. Nobody challenges me anymore. It's gotten to a point now, Mecha Mail, very similar to the captain in games. I'd put myself forward. It would be, you know, we'd need to find another captain. Nobody wanted to do it. It was a guaranteed loss for them. And humbly, I just had to kind of take it on the chin and say, do you know what? I'm making, my existence in this space is making life worse for everybody else because nobody's having fun. The people that are on my team win, and so I guess they're having fun in that respect. But it just gets boring after a while when you're in the pick phase of the game and you know which side's won or lost. And that leads me neatly to why I do this in the first place. I'm streaming at the moment because I can provide a level of insight and commentary on the game that only the most legendary and best player in the by the way, anybody that thinks I'm actually being serious, like I'm seriously good at this game and I seriously was the best at one point. It's been a long time. So I obviously say that tongue in cheek. For anybody new out there thinking that I'm an absolute egotist, I am, but not like that, you know. If you're going to be good at something, the bare minimum you can do is pass that knowledge on, right? You don't want to be somebody who's going to die with all of the answers and not pass any of it on to newer people. So it's why I like doing the teaching portions of the stream. It's why I really like having my drawing tools so I can draw stuff on the screen. And there may be somebody who, you know, maybe just found Biter Battles randomly out of the blue and they went, oh yeah, I heard Ghosty say Outpost. I'm going to try and play that next time, you know. Or I heard Ghosty explaining main base. So if I see, you know, Jimmy, I'm going to say, hey Jimmy, I know you're a main base player. I want to be a main base player. Like, how do I do it? Help me out. And you'd be surprised, man. You'd be surprised. I share builds all the time with people. If somebody turns around to me and asks for a build, like how do I build spam, or how do I build walls, or how do I build XYZ, I will more than happy send you my most recent build or my most recent design for free. Because you can have the knowledge, it's about implementing it. So even if you're on the enemy team, if you have one of my designs, that's fine. Like, you can have it. I bet you I can build it faster and quicker and more efficiently than you can, because I was the one that made it. But feel free to try and copy my design. There's nothing wrong with that at all. The same way that I welcome people copying my threat farming methods. I don't do what the current raft or the current, set of people that currently threat farm do. I actually have a slight tweak on it. If there's a certain thing that isn't done, it's why I want to make a couple of educational videos, because I think that we're missing just a small, like a tweak to this to make it a little better. I don't want to mention it here now because, there are games this weekend that could be influenced off the back of me kind of giving out a bit of information that one side don't necessarily need. But yeah, if anybody wants to know, yeah, dude, I'll tell you. I'll get into a Discord call. Hell, if you need a teammate in a game and I'm on the server, dude, ask me to come over. I'll help you out for sure. And I'm more than happy to do it. I don't charge. It's all free. We do it for the love of the game. I love gaming. It's not just this game. I've been playing them all my life. I love video games. Great fun. Competitive, solo, action adventure, RPGs. I'm not a big fan of battle arenas. The ones like Apex Legends and all that jazz. I just never found them fun. Everything else though, love it. So yeah, I think that. 1 second. Let me just double check the game state. 12% off. Are we anyway? We're not going purple, are we? There's no way. So no blue's been thrown. Have they managed to get this outpost back up and running again? No. Oh, dude, look at that. One solitary steam engine sits by the river, being guarded by some fish. It stands alone. The rest of its power block crumbled into the ground, pancaked. This could be providing everything to the south, and yet now it provides nothing but a blinking off power button. Yeah, poison caps means that we're going to see a delay in the game. I think somebody's. I don't want to jinx it, right? But I think somebody's going to fuck up. I think that in the next, my prediction here, and it's just a me thing. I'm not going to put any money on this, but between now and probably about 10 minutes past, maybe 15 minutes past, somebody's going to make the killer error, the killer mistake, and I believe that will throw the game into an end state. It won't lose a game, but it will throw a game into that team. Oh, well, that's interesting. At the 57-minute mark, which is incredibly fast, by the way, incredibly fast. In fact, the North have purple signs, and the South haven't even finished researching it yet. They've just finished researching it now. Meanwhile, on the North, their first jug was built at the 55-minute mark. We're now at the 57-minute mark. 117 purple has been built, and 63 have been thrown. And now that doesn't seem like a lot, but purple is one of the higher tier sciences. And 63 jugs has jumped the evolution by 1.3%. The South room for a world of pain. We are eventually going to see behemoth bugs. There is a minor fracas, a minor kind of problem out by Clutch's outpost. There are some boss bugs now aggressing on towards their spam. And it's this point in the game now where these spam bases don't really have much of an effect anymore. Yes, you've built it. Yes, you've kind of gone down that path for quite some time now. But continuing to invest your time into that build compared to anything else really is not going to help you. What are we doing here? Why are we making plates? Am I... Guys? Can anybody... Anybody? we don't have this spare. Why are we doing this? What is this? Why are we taking a main patch? I know that we're not using it right now, but like, why are we doing this? This, I think, I don't know if this is new player. To me, this looks like a new player. This might seem useful. It's not useful at all in terms of play. You're going to need all of this at some point. You don't need it siphoned off into a corner and like what will this turn into? Unfortunately, Clutch's outpost gets hit. The bugs may stay in this poison clad, which might be saving grace. They don't seem to want to move right now. They're currently getting spiced up a little bit. They're zesting it out in the cloud, and here they go. They're 1 health. Oh, that is wounding. A group, a gathering of big bugs survive by 1 or 2 ticks of a poison capsule and continue, I'd imagine, to rampage through Clutch's outpost. Again, the efficiency and usefulness of that outpost will slowly diminish over time, naturally, but it's still a bit of a pain in the arse. I think he did enough there to keep that alive. Meanwhile, on the north, large packs of bugs aggress down the pitch, down the map, caught just now by Sherbil, who manages to sweep up their focus onto their brightly coloured green car, away from main base. This is 2 waves worth of bugs. There's a lot of people here. And the north they're battling. They're staying in the fight. And again, all of these guys dragging a trench away, dragging these bugs away, just forcing them out of position. Well, RIP Sherbil. Oh damn, he tried his best, but he didn't bring the bugs close. So now they have a lot of room to run before they hit the next piece of infrastructure, and hopefully by then somebody else can intercept this wave that they were aggressing and kiting around and kill them off. God damn, my voice is going. On the south, it's looking like a war zone. We have pipes strewn everywhere. Random walls have been slapped down, and yeah, I feel like they are just clinging on to the bare minimum that they have around them, which is the semblance of a base. There is a dream of a win here, and yes, they have some purple science up. Have they built a lot? We'll check in to see. At the 58-minute mark, 2 and a bit minutes after, because I don't think they built on the 55-minute mark on north, the south are starting to build purple up, and they built 60 jugs so far and sent 35 of them. I think now it's about who can fill this and feed this as fast as possible. Jimmy's build is relatively ruthlessly efficient, and so we should see a pretty decent amount of this stuff being pumped out. We are just slightly hamstrung by steel, it looks like. Interesting. Steel is a limiting factor now on this purple build. However, as you can see here at the bottom of this belt, it's coming out at a relatively reasonable speed, and purple is going to absolutely throw the south into chaos, really. Once the bugs hit the 90% evolutionary state, we are going to see a huge increase in the size of the bugs into their evolved final state, which are behemoths, and those behemoths will devastate the map. Darknade is truly the best all-round player. He has a flame car? Oh, damn. One sec, I will get to Darknade's flame car in a second. That wave of bugs is uncomfortable. Do we have anybody ready to deal with this? Oh, Sherbil's back in the fight with another car. Again, it seems like an easy thing to do, right? But you've got to be able to stay with this playstyle for a while, right? You're not just catching one wave, you're going to be catching 20, 30, or 40 in the space of quite, 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes. You might be doing this for an hour or so, even if the pressure comes on straight away. So for all of these threat farmers out there, congrats, but the job is not done. Until you've won, the job is literally not done. So he flames the biters. Ah, okay, got you, yeah. So I think down the line, we don't see much of tanks. But I do truly believe there is going to come into a point where we see tank meta. And I think for the reason that I've yet to kind of explain openly, I genuinely think tank ammunition. Where is it now? Yeah, cannon. My question to all of you, and again, I already know the answer to this, and I'm not trying to hint at it now, but how strong do you think tank ammunition is in biter battles compared to laser upgrades, which take a lot of resources? Oh damn, that car is... oh, rip. Well, that's... I think in terms of investment, and I might just be lying here. I could be debating. I could be baiting. But I do believe, I truly do believe there are parts of the meta that are unexplored. And from my own, playthroughs and my own testing, I believe a couple of well-placed tanks with a couple of well-placed shells, I think that they interdict the medium pace of a game like this. So instead of, because you've got to remember, time to kill is important. At the moment, the time to kill here is very, very slow. The bugs need to hit the flame, they need to sit in the flame, you need to kite around the flame, and then the flame eventually, after 5, 6, 7 seconds, will kill them. If the time to kill reduces itself to an instant, like an impact, we could be looking at an improved meta here. You're right. You are right, Green Killer. I'm just so the build that I've been working on, and it's no surprise to anybody, but I went through a phase, and I still am going through a phase of using things like discharge defenses. We don't use shields. We don't really use the power armor because we never get there. We're never going to get to a point where we need any of that stuff because the games don't last that long. However, I do believe that there is a place in the current meta in a defensive outpost build. So as you can see here, for instance, this defensive outpost is making capsules that you're able to quite easily, with a mixed patch, add in tank production and tank shell production. Now, not a lot, by the way. I'm not talking about pumping out hundreds and hundreds of tanks, but I think that you can do it. I think you can put a module onto the side of a mix. So let's say, for instance, we take a base like this, right? This is operating exclusively off of a mixed patch. Oh, not a chance, Blitzy. Not a chance. Blitzy's on the hard alcohol tonight. You will never see, unless they give you a Spidertron, you'll never see a Spidertron in this game mode. It's a great piece of kit, but you won't see it. But I believe that if you were to take an outpost like this, right, which job is to take mixed ore patches and convert them into defensive items for your threat farmers, I believe there is a module, and I've designed a module that works, where you don't interrupt your poison capsule production, and you don't interrupt your slowdown capsule production, but you can bolt it on, and you can create a tank, and you can create rounds. And I believe a single tank round, will destroy a wave like this, which means your time to kill is fast as shit. Meaning you can get this wave and kill it, find 2 more, kill them, and before you know it, they can't spawn as fast as you can kill them off. So you can drive threat, and what I mean by that is you can drive the threat numbers super, super quick. So if the enemy decide to spike you, you can drop the numbers pretty fast. We are cruising into that end game though, which I didn't think we'd reach on a normal server. So I don't know how much damage a shell has right now, but couldn't it do quite a bit of damage against bosses? And there is another point to my learnings, my academia towards the art of defense. I'm not known as the Minister of Defense for no reason, and it's not by coincidence that I gained that title. Let me introduce you to the strongest item in the game. Uranium ammo. The strongest item in the game. It can crit. It's the only item in the game that can create a critical hit. No other weapon in the game can do that. However, unfortunately for us, if we want a static defense to exist, the only way that you can have uranium ammo function correctly is to put it into a gun turret. As we know, gun turrets are fundamentally weak. They have absolutely... Neuro's not happy? Where's Neuro? Ooh, Outpost going down. Alright, we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that side note because I believe that I'm making an important point. Not because I'm making it and I am important, because the point I'm making is important and it's important to the meta, so we'll get back to that. Meanwhile, this outpost is being shredded. The North are under pressure. At 77%, the waves are just starting to pile up. And you can kiss this outpost goodbye, I think. They may have already abandoned it, to be honest. It served its purpose. Yeah, Neuro was not happy just then. I don't know what... Somebody was like following him, or I don't know, bringing some pain to him. But yeah, these satellite outposts are certainly not great. So back to uranium ammo. It is a fantastic resource. It's actually quite easy to make. Believe it or not, it's very, very easy to make. And you don't need a lot of it. However, the moment you end up with that ammo in these turrets, it becomes useless. This is a 400 health turret, and a medium-sized biter will walk over it and stomp it. So I wonder if there's a container, something that can hold a lot of uranium ammunition that can survive waves of bugs long enough in order to get that damage output, to use the mags effectively and get the most bang for your buck. Because cars are very weak. You could put some uranium ammo in a car and have a gunner and drive around in it, but I just don't back it. I don't like that idea. And again, you don't want to really go into defenders, because defenders, you need to then tech up your research. You need to get into shooting upgrades, and that's kind of slow, and it deviates away from the main line of research. So I'm not saying this is my plan, but you'll certainly see me testing bits of this in the next couple of days and weeks, because I'm coming back, boys. And if I'm coming back, I want to bring something new. I don't want to just come back and do the same thing over and over again. That's the definition of insanity. For me, also greatness, because that's how I won all the time. But I want to see if I can evolve the meta a little bit. So uranium ammo, number 1. Number 2, tanks. Because guess what you can shoot uranium ammo out of? I'll give you 3 guesses. One begins with T. Oh, I will hydrate, mate. My voice is gone. Apologies. North are getting rattled, though, and infested with bugs. At the moment, we're seeing the bugs make it near, in fact, on top of and into critical infrastructure. If any of this goes down, it's devastating, especially these purple builds. Spidertron. I mean, you never. I love the idea. I like the enthusiasm. I'm a big fan of the Spidertron. However, I don't think you'll ever see it outside of special games. Maybe you may, but certainly not inside a standard issue Biter Battles game. I doubt you'll see it. And talking about Biter Battles games, this might be. This could be it. This could be it. The North are beginning to collapse, and their collapsing infrastructure will impact the ability for them to continue into the game. Not only are you dealing with waves that are currently destroying your base, you have incoming waves that will continue and carry on that devastation for many, many more seconds, if not minutes. I am worried now. You're not wrong. Spaceship can hold it. Doesn't begin with a T and rhymes with rank, but it could do. You know, you could try your best to squeeze it in if you like. Yeah, I'm 90% sure that a train you can shoot a gun from a train, can't you? I've seen that happen before. No. Although, oh my god, do I even want to go there? Do I go there now? Do I want to talk about this? I had an idea. No. Is this worth talking about? Let's see how these waves go. I'm going to pull up MS Paint real quick, and I need to show you guys something. Let me draw it on my other screen whilst we watch the game, and then I'll explain to you the madness. Because I've thought about this for a while, genuine, and it may be the best play I could possibly ever make. So let me follow somebody on who, north or south? Let's follow Sherbil. Let's see what Sherbil's up to right now. As Sherbil just died. And I'm going to draw up the plan of all plans. Okay, and we'll keep you like this. And then I'm going to make you over here and put a solid fill of this. And then I need some arrows, and then we're good to go. Then the explaining has begun. As my follow command didn't work, the north are beginning to collapse. Damn, the north are absolutely collapsing. Holy shit. As is the south. Okay, this is a lot. And they have behemoths now as well. Holy crap. The south are engaging in behemoth battles. These green shell bugs are the strongest that they possibly could be. And now they are very close to being almost impossible without stacking a ton of poison capsules onto to kill. And here we go. You can see now, these guys are no joke. There's no messing around with these bugs at all. Oh man, I really want to use my MS Paint. Let's follow these in. I'm gonna just quickly draw this up, so bear with me real quick. and I have an idea that I think works. I'm 90% sure this works. Oil is getting smashed, holy. And they're building red ammo? That's certainly not the play, boys. Let's follow Neuro right now. Okay, almost there, almost there. All right, guys. Let me just, can you guys see this? Okay, perfect, you can see this, right. So, the loop, this is a train. So imagine a train track that goes round and round and round. And on this train track, from nose to tail, literally from the very front of the train all the way to the back, is a train that it has carriages in it. Either train cars themselves or the carriages. Inside of that train are a special forces set of individuals. So what they do is they hop off the train at any given point, unload their uranium ammo, and literally as they begin to get aggressive towards the bugs, they press enter on their keyboard, get back on the train then carries them to a new spot where they then hop off and unload their ammo, right? And then the train goes round and round and round and round and round and round again, and they just keep doing this. Now, if you had 2 or 3 people doing that, you'd give them the opportunity to heal, to reload, to jump off the other side and then reload themselves in terms of ammo and stuff. So effectively, one side of the train tracks is aggressive, where the bugs are. The other side of the train tracks is defensive. So behind that is the build, where you pick up all the stuff that you have. And that's a good one. And plus, anybody that runs into the train dies. So it's a train saw with a team of people that jump on and off of it, shooting uranium ammo. I think that could work, mate. I think that could work. Sorry, the only ones that don't die to the train saw are behemoths. Which again, if you don't, if you have behemoths on the pitch, you're gone. Train saw element is gone by this point. I'm talking about, at 30 minutes time, we do eventually, it will work. Blitzy, not only will it work, when I try this out, I'm going to recruit you as the #1 space monkey to test this out. Blitzy is going to be the first person to be the trainer. Train person. We're going to throw you off with uranium mags. Oh, ye of little faith. When there are many, many doubters. There are many doubters. And I've yet to be proven wrong when it comes to my theories on how to do this. Now, the only reason I'm coming up with theories like this is that we've thought of everything else. But I think this can work. I'm 9,000% sure this can work. And not only am I going to try and make it work, I might test it after this game. I may keep the stream up and just... I'm only going to test like 5 minutes of it though. I don't want to show you too much about it, but... No, we'll get into a vanilla game. We'll throw down some tracks and some uranium ammo, and we'll just see how fast you can... Because what it relies upon is for people to jump out, unload 5 to 6 magazines, and jump back on again. It's an unbelievable, crazy idea. I like it, but it's not proven, not yet. But aren't all ideas equally as scary and as crazy until they're proven, Like, somebody went, hey, I like your phone, but imagine if you could touch the screen and, like, make things bigger and smaller, and now we live with them. But so dream with me, guys. See, plus, it's worth trying to innovate every now and again. Rotteny Mods. Damn, I think I said your name wrong. Welcome to have you in, mate. Sorry, I'm just going off on a tangent on crazy things I'm going to try and make happen. Yeah, you see, that's the problem, Green. And that's where you need an elite team of killers. You need a group of people that are willing to jump into a fray, armed to the teeth with the most deadly weapons they could possibly wield, and be able to jump on and off of a train at high speeds without dying. That's not for everyone. But I believe if I could recruit a team of people, and I need to figure out a name for this team. The train team. Oh, that sounds a bit crap, doesn't it? Oh, the locos. Yes. Oh, I'm making jackets. Who wants to be a loco with me? Loco being crazy, but also locomotive, as in the loco team. The crazy team. We jump off the train, we unload our ammunition into the enemies, and we jump back on. And yes, we go round and round in circles, which is also a loco way of playing the game. It's happening. I'm establishing an elite unit of killers called the Locos. Atomic Locos. What are you, loco? Yes, I am. And today, on the 16th of January 2026, the Locos were born. Blitzy being their first member, outside of the leadership group, which was me, Ghosty. You guys were here to witness the birth of not only a new meta, but a new crazy tactic and plan. And all we need to do is build a train. How hard can that be? Easy, guys. Light work. We're going to build a train, and we're going to make the bugs pay for it. You've missed too much, mate. It's Friday night, and I've lost my head, mate. We're talking about... Welcome in, firstly, RJD. We're talking about how you can expand the offensive threat farming meta. I have ideas, and off the back of sharing those ideas, as you can see, chat definitely thinks it's a good idea. Everybody's being very encouraging for me to try these ideas out, and Blitzy's even volunteered to be the first person as part of my new crack elite unit, called the Locos. It's a thing now. I've said it, so it has to happen. No, in fact, it doesn't just have to happen, it will happen. We might need to train this, though. This isn't something that we have to actually... We can't just do randomly. One game, the Locos will appear, and the world will be stunned. Almost like when the SAS appeared on the Iranian embassy siege to announce themselves to the world. The Locos will do the same, in-game obviously, not in real life. I'm not establishing a new terrorist group at all. So the idea is, Green, and that is a good wrinkle, an extra added thing, is that you always should, and again, this is something that goes back to being more serious now. I will do the train idea, by the way, 100%. Like, I've wanted to do that for a while. Is you should always put radars out. Radars instantly attract bugs. So when we have, you know, this got hit earlier, right? This got smashed. The way that you stop this from happening is that you put radars in between that will lead the bugs away. Once they kill one radar, they look for the next, look for the next, and look for the next. And they'll bunny hop away from infrastructure to a point, but you can get them away from things you don't want to lose. Oh, laser towers. I like this from the south. I like this from the south. I did say it would be a more unconventional chill stream today, guys. That's why I'm not, like, I know you guys are here for the game, and we will obviously follow all the developments. We're currently in that middle to end game where we're starting to see things develop, so I'll catch anything that happens. At the moment, both teams are dealing with behemoths, so how they deal with them is kind of really important, and we'll get to the developments of the game as they happen. However, yeah, you need to be putting down radars. They effectively are a lure to pull bug aggression away from large parts of your infrastructure that you don't want to lose. We don't see it happen enough because I don't think enough people really know about it, or people don't really utilize or use it. But yeah, tell me about it, Green. I'm a huge wall enjoyer. This does not constitute as a wall. This is what I call a mess. Like, it wants to be a wall, but it doesn't have its shit together, so it's kind of all over the place. It's also only like 1 hour and 20 into the map. But I agree, I would always prioritize some form of defensive wall. You absolutely know that you're going to get spammed, and you know for sure that the enemy team are going to try and force you out of position. So you absolutely should be thinking about defense at any given time. And the fact that we have a meta, and to a wider point, I think I could win these games purely off of defense as well. You know, parking the train meta aside and parking the uranium ammo testing, like, I genuinely think that we're lacking in defense, and it's causing games to end super early. The same way that we're also lacking in early game offense, and we're not getting the kind of games that we could have if we had more aggressive players in the map creating aggressive plays for their team. So my way of playing is to encourage people to find a way to be aggressive. And the South looking like, I mean, this could be a case of who loses first, right? The North have done an incredibly good job here to get to purple first and obviously send a ton of it. We'll take a look at how much they've sent right now. They have created 1,300 jugs and 1,200 have gone across. The South have made more, though, interestingly. The South have made 1,600 and sent more, but the North are still, yeah, dealing with slightly weaker bugs. You know, the outpost stands strong, although it doesn't really have much of a use now. I think they've turned off most of their science, because you don't need to be sending mill science at this point. It's kind of pointless. Meanwhile, you know, the North are absorbing waves. I think it's up to whoever loses first, right? But it's kind of scary. We have boss bugs as well, very close to Silo. And all that's happening now really is that the bugs on the south and the north are just bumping into infrastructure and just finding a way to fight through it. I wouldn't recommend using pipes as a wall, but you know, they'll do in a pinch. If you need a wall early on that you need to just spam out, I'd use stone furnaces. These are kind of cheap. Obviously you want walls, but if you need to, like stone furnaces, dude, just break them up into individual bugs that you can fight off rather than fighting off packs of them. And this isn't good for the south. Big behemoths are very, very close to the silo. And even with lasers here now, let's make sure power doesn't bounce. Even with lasers, the bugs are getting close enough to start tapping damage onto them. So that was just 2 bugs there. Imagine if a whole wave comes through. Like these lasers are going to be working overtime trying to kill everything. And you don't have a lot of lasers to spare, right? They aren't building hundreds of them just yet. They've only built around about 30 or 40. So again, how you place your lasers, and you don't have many of them, really dictates as to whether or not you can actually survive this game and win on. So this is, yeah, it's looking a lot more tenuous than I thought it would. And again, we don't have deep laser upgrades just yet either. We'll see them come in if the game goes on for a while, but we're not looking at, you know, high-level laser upgrades. In fact, the South are throwing it down. And the North, I think, are just conceding to the fact that they think they can win the game from here. Potentially, right? I mean, they're not researching anything. Also, because probably bugs are right next to their silo, their research labs, they're not researching anything, but they have nothing queued as well. So, are the North done? Do they just want to... Is this it? You know? Because that's worrying, man. Like, that's terrifying. You're not only not researching in terms of like your upgrades, but you're also allowing parts of your base to just get fed into the bugs. And again, all of this stuff feeds into your science, into your purple creating. So like, are we just giving up here? Because it won't take long to lose this, and it will take a while to rebuild. I said, do you know, I'm right. I said that in about 15-20 minutes time, somebody's going to make a vital mistake, and I believe not defending this is a vital mistake. Steel is slow to process too. Very slow, and you need it. You need it for all of this. I'm planning on doing an interview of the final. It's not always easy. The problem is I've done it before where I've interviewed the winner and the loser, and unfortunately the loser, for obvious reasons, having played the entire tournament and then lost, you know, we're not media trained here in Biter Battles, so the loser interview does not particularly go well. Coincidentally, sometimes the winner interview doesn't go particularly well either, so I'll put it out there. I'm happy to interview the winner and losing teams, but sometimes you need to give it some time. In the moment, some people are just not ready to talk. Yeah, this has been such an unfortunate build. And the North are starting... Are we going to really... Are the South going to survive this? Do you know, I think the South survived this. I think the North might be done. Turrets with uranium ammo in your defenses, and you have radar side by side to the turrets. So the reason why that sucks, in concept, it's a good idea. In practice, when the turret dies, you lose the ammo inside the turret. So obviously, if you're going to put expensive ammo into something, it needs to be able to survive long enough. Otherwise, what we would have, or what the meta would be, oh no. No. RIP, all of this stuff. Holy. I think the South are managing to just cling on, bare life. Okay, we saved some of the power block. So yeah, you would see turret lines if that was a good idea, but unfortunately you lose the stuff that's inside the turrets once it dies. So obviously, you know, you go through all that length to create a really good piece of kit in uranium ammo, and then a 400 health turret that will take, I mean, these guys right now, uranium ammo will melt him 1,000,000%. If you had 10 uranium mags on you, this guy would die almost instantly. Even if you don't have the highest level shooting upgrades, they just detonate people because they can crit. And critting these bugs is incredibly powerful. However, 400 damage, 400 HP gun turret he'll just one tap it, and that's unfortunate, you know, because when you're dealing with waves, damn, the North are cooked, guys. And I think the South are just, they're just coercing and whispering to the waves a bit better. I think the South have got this, guys. So sorry, to answer your point, Green. Yes, conceptually, good idea, but in practice, terrible. Mostly because those towers are not going to survive long enough to do the damage they need to do. So, you know, you put a line of towers here now with uranium ammo against this wave, some of them will die, but because they're tanky enough, they'll overrun. Oh, damn. The hero play. Somebody is holding down a repair pack onto this. Oh, damn. That is a behemoth boss. That is the silo. And if you can't heal it fast enough, he will kill it off. No, I kind of like the fact that gun turrets aren't really a used item. Otherwise, all you'd see... And remember, like, to have a gun turret and to feed it, you're using a lot of iron, naturally. And you need iron throughout the entire of the game. So you don't want to be funneling an item in that you need from the word go, from the minute the game starts, all the way to the end of the game, just to keep yourself safe. It's why flamer towers are really good, because you need the oil. Once you have it, you can just like spam it in. You know, put it down and forget it. But yeah, the same with radars. They're just really weak. If they survived long enough, then they'd be useful. They just don't survive. And because of that fact, yeah. Now, obviously, theory, it works. You might find a way where you could make it work if you build a good defensive box around it. You don't see people trying at the moment. But you might be onto something. But again, you need to test it. And unfortunately, the next big evolution in biter battles in terms of offense when it comes to that element is the locos. I will be designing a logo for the locos. That would be cool, actually, Fraggle. That'd be quite an interesting concept. So the same way that we can research flamer tower, for instance, damage increase, you know, you could do the same for towers, but with like range and health. And that'd be kind of useful. Or maybe you could have a single turret that's just huge, like a turret the size of a rocket silo that covers a large area, but shoots, you know, so like a 1000 HP damage structure that's big. That can shoot a large area, but can just do one target at a time. You know what I mean? So like a machine gun on top of a tower type, you know, situation. That being said, though, the North, I think, just absolutely haven't got anything left. Parts of the labs have been devastated. It's DLC. Maybe. What's fascinating to me is the North were the most aggressive early on. If we take a look at the story of the game, the North were the ones to build up a ton of military science and throw it. They've thrown almost 20,000 military science. They got there first, they threw first, they pushed up the evolution on the South first, and here we sit at 97.3% on the North, and they're struggling to kill a single boss. Right next to their silo as more waves pile in. And there are a lot of people sat here now on this problem, not able to solve ones coming in. So there's one boss now, but not too long from now there'll be more. And I think this might just be the beginning of the end for the North. Has been an interesting game. I did not think that the North would go out this way. Obviously, we'll wait till the very end, because you never know, the South just might end up somehow having bugs plow into this area and just destroy them. But, you know, if you look at what they've managed to do, they've stuck a lot of stuff in the way. You know, speed bumps. If you've got a rampaging wave of bugs coming at you, then just put whatever you can in the way to stop them for now. If you're not going to build walls, then make something happen. This isn't a bad idea. It's not very cost effective. It's an expensive play to make, but you're staying alive. You're staying in the fight, right? Rather than drowning under pressure, you're floating. And again, all of these resources for that boss, and look at what's ahead of him. So it is inevitable. These bugs eventually will have their day. The silo will explode eventually, and it will be game. And I believe the South have won this through belligerent defense. You know, Zero Sun, and I mentioned this at the beginning of the game, guys. Zero Sun is a fantastic pick to have. It would not surprise me if he's not one of the better defenders in the team, if not the best defender on the team. It's been a good game from both sides, but I believe that yeah, the South just managed to just play it through, play it out, you know, survive the pressure, keep pushing forward with your ideas, adapt to what's happening to you. They added more threat farmers as well. I did mention that early on. If I was Zero Sun, I'd be asking for more people to come and help me. And again, it goes right back to the beginning of the VOD, which I know not many of you were here for, which was don't suffer in silence, ask for help. You know, if you need it, ask for help, because people will help you. They'll be happy to help. But if they don't know you need help, they're not going to be able to reach out and give it to you. So, you know, for all intents and purposes, not just in life, but in game as well, if you need help, ask for it, because you'll be surprised how much you'll get in return. And it's not a sign of weakness. Sometimes you genuinely just need an extra body or 2 bodies. Down here it was Zero Sun on his own, and then here we have now 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think there were like 5 or 6 of them initially all the way out there, catching waves, moving the waves around, not allowing their base to get attacked, dying a lot, and that happens, but not having their base attacked. So yeah, your player becomes a tower. A little like your loco idea. The loco idea is much more refined than that, but I do like it. Like a gun turret that you have to get into. So it's off until a player gets in, and once a player is in, they can fire it. And yeah, that's kind of cool actually. I do like that. Like a mounted gun, a mounted machine gun. Do you know what, guys? Here's my promise to you. Tonight, I'm not going to stream for too much longer after this. I do want to do some testing, but it's Friday night. I don't want to spend too long streaming and stuff. So it has been fun, but it will be a short one from me. However, tomorrow, before the games start at 5 o'clock, I think I'm going to sit down and draw some ideas out. I think I'm going to... Don't do this, by the way. Don't. Just don't do this. Yeah. Why? Have you got the labs on? Don't fucking do that. We need to talk about this guy. What's his name? Luxahul. Yeah, I know the game is over, but please do not like start pulling labs up and disconnecting power and stuff. Like if you don't want to play the game, leave and watch the game end, but don't make the game end because you are done with it. Like I don't do any of you guys know this player? Luxahul. If not, I might need to talk to one of the admins about it. But yeah, just don't. You know, the game is over, obviously. Let it end. You know, let it end. Mounted machine gun, a walled-in car or tank. Oh, goddamn. Have you never seen a Beyblade before? Have I shown you Beyblades? Green Killer. I don't think you've seen it. Oh, guys. I can't believe... You guys are so... There was a... Do I even want to... Yeah, I'll show you after the game. I'll show you after the game. Stick around for a brief moment once this game ends, and I will show you something that you've not seen before in Biter Battles. I can't believe I'm having to dig this out, and I'm also I'm quite concerned why it hasn't been done for a while. Actually, it makes sense. But yeah. That's not me tempting you to stay. Oh yeah, stay and watch my stream. For 5 minutes, I'll just show you an idea that hasn't been done in a while. And I think I have a relatively new save where I can do it in pretty safely. So we'll load into that save and I'll show you something that hasn't been seen in a while. I call them Beyblades. Yeah, no, dude, it works. There is a thing in this game called Beyblades, and it is real, and it used to work. Conceptually speaking, it's quite expensive, but it's incredibly strong. So yeah, we'll try it out. Not in a working live game, but I'll just conceptually show you what we do, because it's an interesting one. Let's get rid of this. Okay, the collapse is imminent. The bugs are piling in. There's not much left to destroy. So here we have the final act of the North. The South, meanwhile, have most of their base intact, still working and firing away. They're probably quite sure that the game is won and done, but Zero Sun is continuing to farm because if he stops, they could lose. So that's it. They're hanging on. But it is certainly the North that will fall. It's just a matter of time. Behemoths are careening in, chewing down everything that was placed before them, reclaiming the land for their own. As many players around them fall, the silo stands tall with full health, however not for long. Behemoths being peppered by lasers, blocked and impeded by pipes and stone furnaces, finally come to the main event, the main course of tonight's dinner, which is the rocket silo. Yellow health it turns, into blue now as a poison cloud sits around the behemoths. It finally explodes, and the North go down. The South remain victorious. And that was a good game. That was a good game, for what it's worth. I like that. GG's all round. Let me just throw out a GG's. Well played, everybody. That was a good game. So Carl advances. Hi, YouTube. Welcome. Carl advances to the next stage of the tournament. I don't believe Ness is out, but I believe that puts Ness further down the seeding. So effectively, Carl is gotten a W to his name, and Ness will need to pick one up to proceed into the rest of the tournament. Normal difficulty. We've got to purple signs. You know, not too bad. And look at that. Exactly in the spot where I said a power block would go down, somebody has managed to squeeze in a really nice sized power block. You love to see it. The smell of all that fish. Okay, so let me finish off that prediction right now, and then I'm going to show you some old tech. All right, you're on. Tomorrow, before the captain's game. You see, it's out of the meta because I'm out of the meta.